look at what racial attitudes were 25 years ago. Look at polling from the early Reagan years even. And although everybody, there's obviously lots and lots of racial polarization still in this country. But the things that people believed, the opposition to any sort of social equality among the races that was still widespread in 1980 or thereabouts is much, much diminished. We're a more tolerant, we're a more open country, all of which means that the reasons we haven't provided what I think are the normal safety net, the normal provisions for social justice of an advanced country have been gradually eroding. A few years ago, a number of us looked at what was happening and said, there really is the possibility of a change. This country is, even during this period when it seemed as if the right riding on the tide of protecting us from terrorists and all of that was totally in ascendancy. We say, the country isn't really, if you can get past that, that's not where the country is going. We actually are, people are ready, and we do have this increasing inequality. We do have reasons why people would, given an adequate explanation, start to support a better, a more comprehensive welfare state, a better set of institutions to protect people from the economic risks of life, to make us a more equal country in the real sense of the term. With the 2006 election, that became much more concrete, became clear that there really was the possibility of change. I don't know who came up with the phrase. I used it a lot, and I'm probably stealing it from somebody, but there's a lot of talk about the possibility of a New Deal, that we really could try to do for the country some of what, the next stage, in a way, of what was begun under Franklin Roosevelt, to make this a more equal country. That prospect seemed to become even more realistic when the second Gilded Age, like the first Gilded Age, culminated in a spectacular financial crisis, which demonstrated the economic and intellectual bankruptcy of the ideology that had been dominating our politics for so long. And so there was good reason to believe that we might be on the edge of a really big change in this country, a change in the direction, obviously, that I believe is desirable. Not everyone would agree, but I believe is desirable. Basically, a big move towards becoming a normal, advanced country with a normal set of provisions for economic security for the ordinary citizen. Now, a funny thing happened during the 2008 election, which is that that vision which is really a fairly prosaic vision, a vision basically of better institutions, a vision of more social programs, and hopefully something that brings about a change in attitudes along with it, but was fundamentally about dollars and cents and guarantees and laws and institutions. That got caught up in, and you could say maybe partially submerged in, something that was more emotional, more something broader, a vision of transcendence. So what happened during the campaigns, the Democrats eventually settled on a candidate who was a unique figure, at least so far in American history, someone who was a marvelously eloquent speaker with great ability to articulate a vision of a real sort of transformation in behavior, transformation in the way we think about ourselves. And also, part of that was the idea that we could get beyond the ugly partisan politics that had been so much of our, had dominated things so much after, as the country, as the Republican Party moved to the right, and as the distinction between the parties became so large. I wasn't caught up in that vision. Call it cynicism, but whatever. It seemed to me that there was likely to be a rude awakening, not because there was anything wrong with Barack Obama, but because that wasn't really going to happen in America. We weren't really, things don't change that much, and a lot of the the acrimony, the bitterness of our politics was based upon real divisions about the future of the country. And one of my great concerns during the campaign and during the early days of the new administration was that the pursuit of that vision might actually hinder formulating effective policies. Now, as I said, I think that happened a little bit, though I need to be cautious about what I say. And particularly the post-partisan vision, I never believed in. I thought it was going to come to grief. I liked the phrase of Barney Frank on this, who said that when he listened to those speeches, he suffered from post-partisan depression. That it was. It seemed to him and to me that was naive, and so it has proved. Obviously, right? It has turned out that anyone who thought that the election was going to mark a turning point in partisan bitterness was utterly wrong. What can you say? It's been. Now, I'm not sure what I think fully explains the sheer craziness of the opposition to President Obama. How much of it is because of who he is and because of the color of his skin? Probably some, but on the other hand, I'm old enough to remember quite well 1993, 1994. When Bill Clinton was a drug smuggler and Hillary Clinton had murdered Vince Foster and all of that. And to a large extent, this is just what happens when a Democrat is president.